All right, good morning and welcome to the DeadThree Coaching Podcast. And if you're listening to this in succession of how we do our podcasts, then you're wondering why we're doing another one of these. And there's many reasons for that. We released a podcast yesterday and we're back at it again today. And this is what is their solo cast, which is most of what we do. And a solo cast is just me. We're moving towards also getting guests on and all that. That is something that we are planning for. Our old podcast that we did was all about guests. And since we've revamped this about a year ago, it's been 100%. Maybe I've had 3 people on, I think, over the past year or so. And I just haven't really gone out and done that, although that will be changing here shortly. We've done a lot of these solo casts, and we have a plan now on a number of different things that we're going to be doing. And this is going to be called my mini cast, to just come up with some sort of phrase that captures what we're doing. And this is going to be a quick 5 to 10 minute, 2 days a week mini cast, typically after a walk where I'm energized and filled with some motivation and passion, which I typically get after I walk. But here's where I want to lead on this. And then we're going to start with our mini cast theme, because this hit me this morning as I was out walking around, and you'll understand if you listen to yesterday's podcast or the last episode that we put out about just changes to my morning routine and how that may impact you, and the things I'm doing every week in order to kind of habit stack, to think about it that way. So I've finished this book called 10X is Easier Than 2X, and I'm not going to give this full rundown of that book, although we will here maybe in a few weeks. We might do something like that. But the idea is this. You've got to just set outrageous goals. If you just set the normal goal of whatever, then it's very linear, they say, and it's very, it's just kind of time and effort. So if you want to just kind of 2X your year of 2024 and you want to set these goals, and I want to do this, whatever that might be for you, the reality is, according to this book, and I do buy into it, it's the idea of, take it all in, but you can't use it all. You can't implement it all. So you just kind of pick and choose what you like. But I do like this idea of, if I'm just going to reach kind of these goals, all I need to do is continue to do what I'm doing, just do more of it and do it longer and harder and tougher and all that. Just do it. Just do more of it. Do more of the same. And we can continue to reach it, but just go harder is what it's all about. But if you really want to 10X it, then your choices are very limited. So in order to 2X, I got to just do more of the same. I just got to work harder. I need to get up more. I need to just change some habits. So I'm working harder, and grinding more. And I can reach those goals. And I just need to change about 20% of what I'm doing is the idea. I can keep 80. If I want to 10X something, one, you got to figure out what the big goal is, the impossible goal. The impossible goal. What is that? So now I need to really, then you're not left with a lot of choices. You've got to change 80%. You've got to offload a lot. You've got to find people that can do other things that you're not great at. You've got to find people where you don't have time to do that they can pick up things. But I've got to get locked in on one goal, one thing, one focus, and then carve out what it takes to reach that one goal, which means I've got to change 80% of what I'm doing in that space. So here's the goal that I've laid out. I'm going to 10X the podcast, what you're currently listening to, in terms of the downloads and the attention and the people that listen to it. I don't know if that's the right thing to do with a podcast. I don't know if that's how you measure success or whatever. But let's say I get 100 downloads a month. Then everything I do, if I'm going to 10X that, then we're at 1,000. 250 an episode if I did 4 episodes a week. So now I'm coming up with the help of ChatGPT, ideas that I have to 10X that, where everything I do as it relates to, things off hours and the content that I'm creating and the podcast and all that. If everything, now I'm not spread thin on a whole bunch of things. I'm not spread on the website and a whole bunch of creating the content, but all the supplemental instruction. I'm not thinking about anything else other than one thing. How do I go from 100 to 1,000? And then if I reach it, so there's all sorts of things. One is to put out more episodes, put out more content. So the idea is that we have now, or I have now, is, hey, we're going to have solo casts, we're going to have mini casts, we're going to do book reviews, and we're going to do guests and tap into their networks and get the great conversations going and get, like, those are 4 great ways to automatically. I went from this mindset of, hey, four times a month, solo cast, when I can fit it in, nights and weekends, all that sort of stuff, to, no, we've got to now create more content. That's one way to do it. Now, the one thing is, it's just got to be better content. This has to be something that you listen to, that you think is of value, that makes you better, that you then want to share, or that you may go leave a review, or that you may go to the website, you may go download and get the freebies that we're going to create on every podcast. Like all that, right? So we've got to be able to do that. So these are the things I'm doing. And I know this will impact you, but then it's also like the content, the marketing, the strategy, the giveaways. Like, what else is there? If you just so how does this impact you? This impacts you because if you're going to 10X it, you've got to set your goals, and you've got to be unapologetic, unafraid, no fear about putting them out there and discussing them. So yeah, I want to go from 100 to 1,000. What's that look like? And what can I do to make it better? Good content, more content, strategy, like whatever it might be, how we can do this. So I'd encourage you, if you're going to 10X it, one, go get the book, read 10X is easier than 2X. And that's one of our book sessions that we'll do here shortly. And then go listen to some podcasts on this gentleman. He's on the Ed Milet show, and really dive deep into it but at the end of the day, it's just the impossible goal. Like the far reaching 10X goal. Could we do that? Now I'm talking about, hey, can we do that in 12 months? The impossible goal would be like, I think that's far reaching. I think that's hard to do. I would think it's hard to do. It's going to take a lot of work. But somebody would also say, George, screw that. Like, you can do that in 6 months. Your goal should be like, how do you get this in 12 months to be 10,000 downloads a month? All right. From the whole catalog, not just one episode. Right. But then you just recalibrate, you reset, you refocus, you re-strategize on what goals might be if you end up knocking them out. But the 10X 100 is, okay, we're going to try to get to around 1,000 and how we can do that. So I want to, this is a mini cast, but it's goal driven. It's 10Xing things. It's coming up with a strategy. It's being unapologetic about your goals. It's writing them down. So in my planner here that I'm showing for those that may watch this on YouTube, I do have the exact goal written down, one of these SMART goals, right? And now I've got, the process ideas on this: content strategy, promotion, marketing, collaboration, CEO, engagement with audience, value beyond the podcast, meaning gives away things you can go download from the website, like all that sort of stuff. Like, that's how you got to approach your 10X for your year. What am I going to do? When am I going to achieve it? Why is it important? And the strategy's in place. And I've got now 6 of them: content strategy, promotion, marketing, blah, blah, blah. And then every day, every moment is centered around that one thing. And if there's other things I need to do for DeadThree Coaching and Leadership Development, other things I can do, other things I need to do, other things that may be valuable to building that brand, and that somebody else has to do. Somebody else has to do, because my focus is this. So I know that's like on me and what I'm doing and how I'm handling things, but it's on you as you carve out your goals. I'm going to, like, the 80% is changing to focus on one thing. 10X that. What does that look like? How will that make me feel? Who do I become? What's that journey like? What will that look like when I'm done? How will I feel when I'm done? And then what does that transition and pivot to for my next 10X? I think in my notes somewhere in here, it says, man, who you become. It's in my note cards here next to me. Who you become. When you 10, every level of 10X, you have to become somebody different. If I'm going to 10x this and then 10x that and then 10x the next thing, you have to become somebody different. Okay, this is my mini cast. I wanted to get into something completely different, but that will be my next mini cast. This is 10 minutes quickly for you on your way to work. I hope that you may like this format. If you are a regular to the DeadThree Coaching Leadership Development Podcast and content, it's going to be more. You're going to see it more. Please, hopefully you don't turn it off. Hopefully you don't silence it. Hopefully you share it, because it's going to be more on Twitter. It's going to be more on Instagram. It's going to be more on LinkedIn. It's going to be more on the website. It's going to be more releases and content. It has to be, because I've got a goal of a 10x on what this looks like and how I can get there. And it is what I'm going to be focused on for the next 12 months until we reach that goal. Please reach out to me. Please continue to like this. It's going well with that. And it all supports me reaching my 10x goal. All the content we put out and everything we can do for you, the sharing, the liking, the community, the conversation, all helps me reach that 10x goal without question. Thank you. Have a good rest of your day. Enjoy it.